Your test tomorrow is on sections 11.1 to 11.5. Your review is very similar to your test. It has like one of each question except the first section of it. Test is 6 questions. Like I said, everything on your review is fair game to be on your test. The first section that you have with this, you are going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, distributing, that kind of thing with these matrices. You're given that A is that first one, then B and C. For number 1, you're finding 3A minus 5B. Remember, with addition and subtraction, your matrices must have the same dimensions. Remember, with your multiplication, the matrices have to have the 2 middle numbers that are the same. Okay? And then the 2 outside numbers give you your dimension of your answer. So for 3A minus 5B, we're going to do 3 times A, which is 4, 7, negative 1, 3, minus 5 times B, negative 4, 8, 6, negative 3. So 4 times 3 gives us 12. The 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 3 times 7 is 21. And 3 times 3 is 9. So that gives you your first matrix. I'm going to distribute the negative in with the 5. The reason why is that way it turns into addition, and then I'm not worrying about the signs and distributing signs. Move it with the 5 as you multiply. So this becomes addition. Negative 5 times negative 4 is positive 20. Negative 5 times 6 is negative 30. Negative 5 times 8 is negative 40. And negative 5 times negative 3 is 15. So now you're making your life a little bit simpler and just adding numbers. So 12 plus 20 gives us 32. Negative 3 plus negative 30 is negative 33. 21 plus negative 40 is negative 19. And 9 plus 15 gives us, let me see, yeah, 9 plus 24. That's your answer, yes.
Can you explain real quick how does
For number 2, we have C minus B. For C, we're given the matrix negative 5, 7, 6, negative 4, 4, 9, minus B, which we worked with already, which is negative 4, 6, 8, negative 3. If you look at the dimensions here, you have a 3 by 2 minus a 2 by 2. Because these dimensions are not exactly the same, you cannot do this. For number 3, you are doing 2/3 times B. So B, we said, is the negative 4, 6, 8, negative 3. So you're going to do 2/3 times that. So the 2/3 times negative 4 is going to be negative 8 over 3. The 2/3 times 6 is 2 times 2, which is 4. 2/3 times 8 is 16 over 3. And 2/3 times negative 3 is just 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2. For number 4, you're doing C times A. So remember, with your multiplication, your dimensions, middle numbers have to be the same. So C, we said, was the negative 5, 6, 4 in the first column, 7, negative 4, 9 in the second column. A is the 4, negative 1, 7, 3. So for this first, the C matrix is a 3 by 2. Your B, or your A matrix, sorry, is a 2 by 2. Your 2 middle numbers are identical, so we can multiply these. The 3 and the 2 on the outside give us the dimension of our answer. So our answer is going to be a 3 by 2. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to start by doing first row, first column. So the first position, which is this one here. So we're going to multiply first row by first column. The -5 times 4 is -20. 7 times 7 is 49. So 49 minus 20 gives us 29 for that one. Next one we're going to do is middle row, first column. So 6 times 4 is 24. -4 times 7 is -28. 24 minus 28 gives us -4. Next one, we're going bottom row, first column. So 4 times 4 is 16. 9 times 7 is 63. Add those, that gives us 79. Next one we're going to do, first row, second column. So -5 times -1 is 5, and 7 times 3 is 21. 5 plus 21 gives us 26. Next, middle row, second column. 6 times -1 is -6. -4 times 3 is -12. This gives us a -18. And lastly, bottom row, second column. 4 times -1 is -4. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 minus 4 is 23. So the matrix of 29, 26, -4, -18, 79, 23 is our answer. For number 5, you have B times C. So for this one, we're going to have the matrix of, where is it? -4, 6, 8, -3, times the matrix of -5, 7, 6, -4, 4, 9. The dimensions of your first matrix there is a 2 by 2. The dimensions of the second is a 3 by 2. The two numbers that are on the inside are not the same, so you cannot do this one. The next part of your review goes over finding the inverse of the given matrix. Remember, with finding the inverse, you could label these first as A, B, C, D, and then multiply A and D, B and C, subtract them. From there, take your reciprocal of that number and multiply it by the matrix that you already had, but flipping your A and D and changing the sign of B and C. So what this means, if we first find A, B, C, D, so we find A times D minus C times B. This is going to give us 9 times -6 minus -8 times 7. So that's -54 minus a -56. Double negatives turn to positives, so that's 56 minus 54, which is 2. The reciprocal of that is 1/2. You will take that 1/2 and multiply it by changing around that matrix. Your 9 and -6 change spots, and then your 7 and your -8 are going to change signs. So you distribute in that 1/2, and that's going to give you 1/2 times -6, which is -3. 1/2 times 8, which is 4. 1/2 times -7 is -7/2, and 1/2 times 9 is 9/2. For number 7, we are given the matrix 8, -5, -11, -4. So I'm going to label first A, B, C, D, and find A times D minus C times B. So it's going to give us 8 times -4 minus -11 times -5. The 8 times -4 is -32. The 11 times 5 is 55. So we're doing negative 32 minus 55, which gives us 87, a negative 87. We take the reciprocal of that negative 87, which is negative 1 over 87, and we switch up that matrix that was given to us. So your negative 4 is going to go first. The negative 5 turns into a positive 5. Negative 11 turns into positive 11. And then that 8 goes last. So we just multiply in that negative 1 over 87. And that's going to give us 4 over 87. Negative 5 over 87. Negative 11 over 87. And negative 8 over 87. For your next question, you are given a matrix that is 4, 3, 0, 0, negative 2, 4, 0, 1, negative 3. Told to find the determinant and then write the system of equations represented and then determine the dimensions of the matrix. We're going to go easy to harder with this and work with C first. Your dimensions of this matrix, it's a 3 row by 3 column. So that's just a 3 by 3. For the system of equations, well, we don't really have a system of equations here because we don't have answers. But we could give the expressions represented from the matrix. Remember, these are your x values, your y values are in the middle, and then your z values would be to the far right. So that would give you 4x plus 3y, negative 2y, plus 4z, and y minus 3z. Next thing that we can do is to find the determinant. To find the determinant, you are going to rewrite the first 2 columns since there's more than 2 rows and 2 columns here. So rewrite the first 2 columns first. So that's 4, 0, 0 for your x, and for your y, you're going to have 3, negative 2, and 1. You are going to multiply top to bottom and bottom to top, adding those values up and then subtracting the 2. So that means that you are going to multiply first your 4, negative 2, negative 3, your 3, 4, 0, and your 0, 0, 1. That means that you are going to have, I'm going to put this down here, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 times negative 3 is a positive 24. 3 times 4 times 0 is 0, and 0 times 1 is 0. You will subtract that with your multiplication from the bottom to the top. So that means you're going to multiply your 0, negative 2, and 0. That gives you 0. 1, 4, and 4, which gives you 16. And negative 3, 0, and 3, which gives you 0. From here, you add within both sides. So that's 24 minus 16. Subtract, and that gives you 8. The next questions tell you to use Kramer's rule to solve, if possible. Remember with these, you are finding D, because there's 3 variables, D, D sub x, D sub y, and D sub z. You're given your answers as D sub x over D, comma, D sub y over D, comma, D sub z over D. If you find D and it's equal to 0, automatically your answer is going to be no solution because you cannot have a 0 in the denominator of a fraction. So you need to check for what D is first. For this example that we have, the 4x minus 2y plus 3z is equal to negative 7. 2x plus 2y is equal to, 2x plus 2y plus 5z is equal to negative 9. And 8x minus 5y minus 2z is equal to 22. We are going to have the matrix for D. That is for x values 4, 2, 8. Y values are negative 2, 2, negative 5. And z values are 3, 5, negative 2. Just like with the last question, we're going to find the determinant first, which is D. So rewrite the first 2 columns. You have 4, 2, and 8, negative 2, 2, and negative 5. Multiply going down. So you have 4, 2, and -2, -2, 5, and 8, and 3, 2, and -5. So this is going to give you 4 times 2 is 8, times -2 is -16. 2 times 5 is -10, times 8 is -80. 3 times 2 is 6, times -5 is -30. You'll subtract that with the multiplication of going up. So 8, 2, and 3, -5, 5, and 4, -2, 2, and -2. Your 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 3 gives you 48. Your -5 times 5 is -25, times 4 would give you negative, right? Yeah, -100, and then the -2 times 2 times -2 is +8. All right, so your -16 minus 80 minus 30 gives you -126. The 48 minus 100 plus 8 gives you -44. So then your double negatives turn into positives. You're going to do -126 plus 44, which gives you -82. Our next step here is to find d sub x, which means you're going to take the matrix that you just made for d and change out your x values with your answers. So that means that the 4, 2, and 8 is going to change to be the -7, -9, and 22 for d sub x. So start with -7, -9, and 22 on the first column. Your y values and your z values are going to stay. So that's going to be -2, 2, and -5. And then 3, 5, and -2. So just like the one before, rewrite the first two columns. -7, -9, 22, -2, 2, -5. You are going to multiply top to bottom. So the 7, 2, and -2, the -2, 5, and 22, and then the 3, -9, and -5. So your -7 times 2 times -2 gives you a positive 28. Then you have -2 times 5 times 22, which is -220. And then 3 times -9 times -5 gives you 135. You're going to subtract that with the multiplication going bottom to top. So 22, 2, and 3, -5, 5, and -7, and -2, -9, -2. So the 22 times 2 times 3 is 132. The -5 times 5 times -7 is positive 175. And then the -2 times -9 times -2 is -36. From here, we're going to combine like terms. So 28 minus 220 plus 135 is -57. The 132 plus 175 minus 36 gives you 271. Subtract these two, and it gives you a -328. From here, now that we have d sub x, we're going to find d sub y. So that means your x values are going to stay in your matrix. So they're going to stay 4, 2, 8. Your y values become your answers. So that's going to be -7, -9, and 22. And then your z values stay to be 3, 5, -2. Just like the one before, rewrite the first two columns. So you have 4, 2, 8, -7, -9, 22. Multiply going top to bottom first. So you have 4 times -9 times -2, which is 72. negative 7 times 5 times 8, which is negative 28, or sorry, 280. And then 3 times 2, which is 6, times 22, which is 132. Next, you're going to multiply from bottom to top. So you have 8 times negative 9 times 3, which is negative 216. Then 22 times 5 times 4, which is 440. And negative 2 times 2 times negative 7, which is 28. You're going to combine like terms here. So 72 minus 280 plus 132 gives you negative 176. Then your negative 216 plus 440 plus 28 gives you 252. Your negative 76 minus 252 gives you negative 328. The next thing you're going to find is d sub z. So that means your x values stay as 4, 2, 8. Y values stay negative 2, 2, negative 5. Z values become your answers of negative 7, negative 9, 22. Rewrite the first two columns. So 4, 2, 8, negative 2, 2, negative 5. And multiply diagonally. Start from top to bottom. You have 4 times 2, which is 8 times 22, which is 176. Negative 2 times negative 9 times 8, which is positive 144. Then negative 7 times 2 times negative 5, which is 70. You're going to subtract that with your multiplication going bottom to top. So first one you have is 8 times 2 times negative 7, which is negative 112. Then negative 5 times negative 9 times 4, which is 180. Then 22 times 2 times negative 2, which is negative 88. Combine your like terms. 176 plus 144 plus 70 gives you 390. Minus negative 112 plus 180 minus 88 gives you negative 20. If you combine your like terms here, which they do become addition, you are left with d sub z is equal to 410. From here, you need to put your answers together. So that means you're going to find d sub x over d, comma, d sub y over d, comma, d sub z over d. So that means that you are going to have negative 328 over negative 82, negative 328 over negative 82, and 410 over negative 82. This simplifies to give you negative 4, 5. These would be positive, sorry. So the 5 is negative, yes. The 4s are positive. For your last question, you are given, where is it? 2x minus 4y is equal to 1. For 7x plus y minus 3z is equal to 8. And 2x plus 3z is equal to 0. To first find d, you are going to have the matrix 2, 7, 2, negative 4, 1, 0, 0, negative 3, 3. Rewrite the first two columns. and then multiply. So you're going to start with top to bottom. This is going to give you 2 times 1 times 3, which is 6. The negative 4 times negative 3 is 12, times 2 is 24. 0 times 7 times 0 is 0. Multiply now from bottom to top. You're going to have 0 plus 0 plus 3 times negative 4 times 7, which is negative 12 times 7. That's negative 84. Combine your like terms here. You have 30 minus a negative 84. Turns into addition. So that gives you 114. All right. So from here, we are going to find d sub x. Remember, change your x values out for your answers. So that's going to become 180, negative 4, 1, 0, 0, negative 3, 3. Rewrite the first two columns. Multiply, starting from top to bottom. And then go bottom to top. So from top to bottom, 1, 1, and 3 is 3. Negative 4, negative 3, and 0 is 0. 0, 8, and 0 is 0. From bottom to top, 0, 1, and 0 is 0. 0, negative 3, and 1 is 0. 3, 8 is 24 times negative 4 is negative 96. So that's going to give you 3 minus a negative 96. Double negatives turn to positives. So d sub x is 99. Next, find d sub y. So you're going to keep your x values of 2, 7, 2. Y values become answers 1, 8, 0. Z values stay 0, negative 3, 3. Rewrite the first two columns. So that's 2, 7, 2, and 1, 8, 0. You are going to multiply top to bottom to start, and then bottom to top. So that means you have 2 times 8 times 3, which is 6 times 8, that's 48. 1 times negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. 0 times 7 times 0 is 0. Your 2 times 8 is 16 times 0 is 0. 0 times negative 3 times 2 is 0. 3 times 7 is 21 times 1 is 21. So this gives you 48 minus 6, which is 42, minus 21, which gives you a d sub y of 21. Next, find your d sub z. Remember, x values stay 2, 7, 2. Y values stay negative 4, 1, 0. Z values become answers 1, 8, 0. Rewrite the first two columns. So 2, 7, 2, negative 4, 1, 0. Multiply from top to bottom. Subtract your sums there from multiplying bottom to top. So this is going to give you 2 times 1 times 0, which is 0. Negative 4 times 8 is negative 32. Times 2 is negative 64. And then 1 times 7 times 0 is 0. Minus 2 times 1 times 1 is 2. 0 times 8 times 2 is 0. And 0 times 7 times negative 4 is 0. So this simplifies to give you negative 64 minus 2, which means d sub z is negative 66. So to write your answer, again, you're doing d sub x over d, comma, d sub y over d, comma, d sub z over d. So that means that you're going to have 99 over 114, comma, 21 over 114, comma, negative 66 over 114. You need to simplify all the way with this. So that 99 over 114 does simplify to become 33 over 38. Oops. The 21 over 114 simplifies to be 7 over 38. And the negative 66 over 114 simplifies to be negative 11 over 19.